warm, they did their job, and I was proud to be a Yoruba. They knew that a Yoruba program is going on today. They were happy. The way they treated me, I was very happy to be a Yoruba.
Thank you.
To the government of Australia, this is just the beginning of our relationship with Yoruba indigent in your land. Mr. Mayor, you are the closest politician to grassroots. And I want to urge you to please continue to amend and embrace the Yoruba community. This is what we are. And I'm glad the minister, you said you have to return your culture. Thank you for allowing us to return our culture in Australia and to maintain our culture. In the nearest future, I'd like to see a Yoruba to become a mayor. A great thanks to our Prime Minister of Australia, and pretty soon, my father, His Imperial Majesty, will pay a custody visit to him. Thank you very much. And to my ọmọlúàbí, our Professor Oladejo, thank you very much for taking us back to the history of Yoruba. But I'm going to make a bit of correction. Emma Binusau, bóyá èmi náà máa padà sí school, máa lọ di professor, but mo láti ṣe masters into professor. I just want to correct a bit of the history. Most, when you Google it, when you read, a máa sọ pé ní Yorùbá, téèyàn bá ti jẹ́ ọmọ Aláàfin, ọmọ ọba, gbogbo èèyàn lọ́mọ ọba. It's easy to misinterpret pé 7 children of Oduduwa. They are the grandchildren of Oduduwa. Oduduwa only have one son, Okanbi. Okanbi ló wá bí ọmọ méje. Ìyẹn nìkan. Ẹ má bínú sá o. Ojú mi ò lè gbà because nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe ni. Then Oronyan, I'm proud to say Aláàfin Oronyan was the last born. And we in Oyo Kingdom, we try to maintain that legacy of the last grandchild of Oduduwa, which is Oronyan. He was the founder of Old Oyo Ile. And I'm very proud to be a Yoruba woman. Not only a Yoruba woman, I'm very proud to be from Oyo, because when Oyo Oyo. So for our government seated, there's no way you can talk about Yoruba not talking about Oyo. Oyo, everything started from Oyo. The culture, the language started from the Yoruba dialect that we speak started from Oyo. So, látọ̀yọ́ lé o, látọ̀yọ́ lé, àwa la làṣà wa, látọ̀yọ́ lé, ó lè kú wa, látọ̀yọ́ lé, àmọ̀lá wa, látọ̀yọ́ lé, Yorùbá wa, látọ̀yọ́ lé, Bárìyẹ́ wa, látọ̀yọ́ lé, Abetí ajá wa, látọ̀yọ́ lé, látọ̀yọ́ lé o, látọ̀yọ́ lé. Àwa la làṣà wa, látọ̀yọ́ lé. So everything started, although the source is Ile-Ife, but every other thing, anything about the culture, the style, everything you see, the languages you hear is from Oyo. Ẹ ṣé gan o. Bàbá wa ní kí n sọ fún yín pé this is the Yoruba that we want. This is you, the Yorubas in Australia, you represent Nigeria. Yoruba ló ń jẹ́ Nigeria. Nigeria ló ń jẹ́ Yoruba. I have traveled far. I haven't been all over the world, but there's no other culture that is alive than Yoruba. I've been to Trinidad, it's Yoruba. The tradition, the culture, the dressing is alive. Brazil, Yoruba represents Brazil. Cuba, Yoruba represents Cuba. So we want to take over Australia, where we're going to take over Oyo, eh, Oyo, ibẹ̀ lọ́làjú ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ibẹ̀ lọ́làjú ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, Oyo, 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 ibẹ̀ lóṣèlú ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ibẹ̀ lóṣèlú ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, Oyo, To translate that, the politics started from Oyo. So you see how powerful is Oyo Kingdom. So, ẹ ṣé gan o, màá pélé. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa, Yorùbá kò lè parun. Èké ni wọ́n ṣe, Yorùbá kò lè parun. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa, Yorùbá kò lè parun. Èké ni wọ́n ṣe, Yorùbá kò lè parun. Àtẹ́lẹwọ́ la bá là, a ò mẹ́ni tó kọ ọ́. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa, Yorùbá kò lè parun. Yorùbá ò ní parun, ẹ ṣé gan.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, àjíǹde ló tún ọ̀nà jẹun. Ẹ ṣeun tí ẹ tọ́ wa sọ́nà. Ṣé ẹnìkan ìgbọ́n tán, ẹnìkan sì máa tán? Àgbà ẹ̀kọ́, àṣìkò àwọn yín, ẹ ṣeun. Ẹyẹ èèyàn mi, ẹ dákun, ẹ dìde, ẹ bá ń pàtẹ́wọ́ fún olórí arẹwà ọmọ ọba Ọlákadé. Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ ṣeun. Ẹ má ti ìjókòó, ẹ má ti ìjókòó, nítorí kí ni wọ́n ní àgbà eégún ní gbẹ̀yìn ìgbàlẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ Yorùbá débẹ̀? Wọ́n bẹ́ yẹ bọ̀ lápò ní o. Ẹ ṣeun. A ní rí ọba fín nítorí kíni wọ́n ní báwọn àwọn méjèèjì ni wọ́n ti kọ́ wa pé ìdọ̀bálẹ̀ là ń kí ọba abẹ́ẹ̀kọ́. Àrífín ni nílẹ̀ Yorùbá láti ní kọ́ba ó wá sí iwájú wa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ipò ọba là á bọ́ba. So ibi tí kábíyèsí wà, ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ó dúró sí, tí wọ́n ó jókòó sí, tí wọ́n ó bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ̀yin ẹ wá dìde dúró bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wa. Ẹ bá ń pàtẹ́wọ́ tí n bá ti parí ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ ń pa wọn. Ọba kábíyèsí Adékúnlé Adéògún Okùnòyè. Ṣé mo pè é dàsà? Ẹ ṣeun. Ọ̀rẹ́ nìkan pè ní Òkúnnọyè, wọ́n ní rárá Okùnòyè. Ẹ̀bùrú ti Ìbà, Oyèdèjì kejì. Akínkù kalẹ̀ o. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orílẹ̀-èdè Australia. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí ìwọ̀ oòrùn Australia. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sábò wa. inú wa dùn láti rí yín. Àwa fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ pè yín kẹ́ ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ bíi bàbá sí ọmọ. Ká gbóhùn yín, ẹ mú wa padà sílé, àjò la wà. Èyí sì tún wá fi bo yín lẹ̀ tún wá bá wa níbí, àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Inú wa dùn, ọkàn wa sì yọ̀. Ẹ ṣeun o. Ọba wa, wọ́n ń ṣèyàn kékeré o. Èèyàn ńlá ni wọ́n. Ṣé a máa tán pé kọ̀fẹ́sọ̀ Yorùbá? Kọ̀fẹ́sọ̀, àwọn tí wọ́n ti gbé nǹkan rù. Wọ́n ti ṣe àgbérù ìwé. Wọ́n ń ṣọba lásán, wọ́n ń ṣọba pẹ́pẹ́, wọ́n ń ṣọba yẹ̀yẹ́. Kọ̀fẹ́sọ̀ ni wọ́n ní ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Williams College of Business, Xavier University, Cincinnati, Ohio. They want to get professor. And also, that's my favorite. Nísìnyí, mo wá fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ dákun kẹ́ ẹ pawọ́pọ̀ kẹ́ ẹ bá ń ṣe kábíyèsí ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ kú kàlẹ̀ ní ẹ̀ẹ̀mẹ́ta. Ọ̀yá kábíyèsí ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ kú kàlẹ̀. Kábíyèsí ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ kú kàlẹ̀. Ó kàn fẹ́ o. Kábíyèsí ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ kú kàlẹ̀. Ọba Adékúnlé Àkànmú Ẹ̀dú ọmọ aláyé, ọmọ àdìmúlà, ọmọ àyàndá olódò òkúta, ọmọ ẹni tí ń torí aláìsùn ọ̀ṣẹ́, òkè bí ọ̀run sọ wọ́n, ọmọ àníkẹ́, gbogbo orí yín ló dáa títí wa náà sì sùn, àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí àpò wa, ẹ dákun ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun, ẹ bá ń pawọ́ pọ̀.
Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ ṣe gan, ẹ ṣe àdúpẹ́ gan. Ẹ jókòó, ẹ ṣe gan ni o. Ẹ ṣeun àdúpẹ́, inú wa dùn púpọ̀ gan láti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Kí ókè adẹ̀sẹ̀ ti jókòó ṣùgbọ́n a fẹ́ kí àwọn onílù princess á tún orin yẹn kọ, so gbogbo wa kọ a lè jó díẹ̀ ká tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ, so princess orin tó kọ last yẹn
irọ́ ni wọ́n pa Yorùbá kò lè parun. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa.
Ẹ bá lùlù sí i.
Kò sí ẹ̀rí gángan. Èyí tá lù lánàá kọ́. Ó dà, irọ́ ni wọ́n pa. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa Yorùbá kò lè parun. Èké ni wọ́n ṣe Yorùbá kò lè parun. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa Yorùbá kò lè parun. Èké ni wọ́n ṣe Yorùbá kò lè parun. Àtẹ́lẹwọ́ la bá rà, a ò mẹ́ni tó kọ́ ọ́. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa Yorùbá kò lè parun. Irọ́ ni wọ́n pa.
Thank you. So let me see that. Adúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí lọ́wọ́ wa. Inú wa dùn gan láti wà níbí. I have a prepared, speech to explain, so I'm going to be a little bit, different to the presentation of, Princess. I salute His Imperial Majesty, Ikú Bàbá Yèyé, Ọba Lámídì Adéyẹmí Kẹta, ọmọ ọkú tí kò gbọdọ̀ pa, ọmọ àrùn tárùn ò gbọdọ̀ ṣe, Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́. Ẹ bá ṣe kábíyèsí fún bàbá. Ká tó wá síbí, ọ̀dọ̀ wọn lágbà wá. I was at Ọ̀yọ́ on the Wednesday. I left Nigeria on Thursday. So wọ́n mọ̀ pa wà níbí, and inú wa dùn gan wípé wọ́n jẹ́ kí arẹwà kí ó wá ṣojú wọn. Àdèmà jíṣẹ́ lé gbogbo bí ẹ ṣe tọ́jú wa. Ọlọ́run á dúró tì yín. Thank you very much, Honorable Chris Atom, the MP. I also have a brief stint in politics, so yes, I try to test for the heck of our rank. But it's different terrain there. So extend our greeting to the Premier and the Minister and the Mayor. Very happy to have you in our midst. As a matter of fact, we see ourselves, in the contemporary Yoruba setting. The king today is like a mayor. So we actually occupy, very similar position, except that you are elected by, the people. Our hold is a traditional, and it's also kind of like a democratically from the family. So you are both welcome. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá wa àti ẹ̀yin ìyá wa. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ wa pátápátá. Inú wa dùn gan, pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ṣeré níbí, orí wa wú gan. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí a fẹ́ sọ, nǹkan tí àwọn ọmọ yìí ṣe, ó ti jẹ́ pé kí ọ̀rọ̀ náà ẹ ti ń ṣe púpọ̀ nínú nǹkan tá a máa sọ ṣùgbọ́n a tún máa sọ. And we sincerely, want to acknowledge the executive of the Yoruba Society of Western Australia. Ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́ gan, lábẹ́ àkóso brother wa Asaye àti ìyàwó wọn. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn. Mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ sister mi àti ọkọ wọn, the Odude. Nípa wọn ni a ṣe gbọ́ nípa ètò yìí. Ṣùgbọ́n bí wọ́n ṣe sọ fún wa, torí gbogbo nǹkan tó bá ti jọ mọ́ àṣà àti irú nǹkan báyìí, a máa ń fẹ́ lọ́wọ́ sí i. Wọ́n ṣe mention fún wa náà láti gbáradì. Ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tí gbogbo yín fẹ́, kó ṣẹlẹ̀ nípa nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ ṣe la ṣe lè wà níbí. So a dúpẹ́ gan. So a kí gbogbo wa ní ẹ̀kan sí. My speech is titled Ọmọlúàbí, Traditional Yoruba Value, Implications for Yoruba in Western Australia. And I want us to be, very attentive. Ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa kàn wọlé, because a lot of controversy is actually geared towards them. So I start with Yoruba world, our Yoruba nation. In Yoruba world, shamelessness is a taboo. Children treat their parents as their earthly God by according them utmost respect. It's a world where the young respect the old, where they respect constitutional authority, constitutional authority. When we say respect, it doesn't mean that they are dogmatic. No. Our respect is a virtue, it's character. We still have mechanism through which we express ourselves in the presence of elders. That's the idea. People usually misconstrue our respect, the concept of respect as just that you cannot think, for that is not what our respect means. Yoruba world is a world where greeting serves as an agent of love and affection. I must let you know that in our land, it is considered a very serious offense if you get to a gathering and you don't greet people that you meet there. It's only in Yoruba land that you will see people that you're meeting for the first time and you tell them it's been a while. You wonder, wow, but that's our culture. And then you can imagine what that means, the familiarity. You know, the kind of relationship that you can immediately foster. When you meet someone for the first time, I say, oh, it's been a while. For us, Otujo Meta. Abiba Ekoni. A world where parents will gather their children and feed them with fairy tales about how to live a responsible life. A world where decency is highly celebrated and crime is greatly abhorred and criminals are penalized. In Yoruba world, primacy were given to moral values. Immorality in all forms were not acceptable. The total way of life and the idiosyncrasies of the then actually propelled their greatness and achievement majorly because things were done in the ideal way. With civilization and globalization, there has been redefinition of morality and ethical concepts. In our attempt, in Yoruba's attempt to adapt to alien culture, we have incorrectly redefined our Omoluabi nature and our view of being moral. I'm not going to waste further time on talking about the history of Yorubas. Professor Oladejo did wonderful job, and my daughter here also says some addition, I think. But Yorubas are virtuous, loving, and kind. It's not an issue of flattering ourselves, it's the reality. Even though, as we're going to, allude, we are deviating, from those, virtues, but that is who we actually have. It is undisputed that we are all from Ife, as Omo Odudua, Odudodaiwa, which is the essence of reality. I'm going to talk later about Iwa in my presentation. It's not disputed also that the political headquarters of the Yorubas was the Oyo Empire. Until tomorrow, Alaafin still remain, like the primus inter pares, is the first among equal. The colonial classification and their divide and rule method were adopted by neo-colonialist indigenous people. We're ruling ourselves now, but we still retain that, fundamental categorization that was given to us by the colonial master. They brought the issue of seniority and class to Obashi. We never had that. Our community, our town, our city-state, where the king there is the president. So my great-grandfather had his own army, he has his own council, he has everything, he collects taxes. They took that away from us. And that's fundamental to all the problems that we're having in our nation today. If they could give back our land to us, the monarchy, of course, accommodating it, with the reality of today's world, we're a republic, as a nation, we understand that. But that's a discussion for the future. They formulate policies and laws that are dividing us as a race and ensuring that we, the monarchies, never go back our community. The challenges of our race today, and by extension our country, are deeply rooted in the erosion of our cultural values and abandonment of Omoluabi concept. So what do we mean by Omoluabi? For us, Yorubas, this is a term that we've had numerous times. But honestly, as we're going to, see, if we can deeply study, we will really appreciate what we have as Yoruba. I'll be very, very even proud of ourselves, more than how we do now. So the Omoluabi is a Yoruba philosophical and cultural concept to describe a person of good character and the standard which determines morality and the immorality of an act in Yoruba society. The Omoluabi concept signifies courage, hard work, humility, and respect. An Omoluabi is a morally sound and upright person of honor who believes in hard work, respects the rights of others, and gives to the community in deeds and in action. Above all, Omoluabi is a person of integrity. If you follow, that my characterization of Omoluabi, you can see that it encompasses a real person. What else are we looking for? What the society and the law is actually trying to teach us is embodied in an Omoluabi. We said an Omoluabi demonstrates and exhibits the inherent value of Iwapele, gentle character, and self-restraint. Iwapele is ultimately the basis of moral conduct in Yoruba culture and a core defining attribute of an Omoluabi. The most fundamental of these people demonstrated by Omoluabi are Orosiso, spoken word. The Yoruba accord great respect for intelligent and expert use of language. Gbogbo wa la gbọ́ tí bí bàbá wa Professor Ọládẹjọ ṣe sọ̀rọ̀. That's one of the characteristics of Omoluabi. Àwọn Yorùbá ní ọmọ yóò mọ pé ó mọ ọ̀rọ̀ sọ. A máa ń gbọ́. Wọ́n á ní kò mọ ọ̀rọ̀ sọ tí owó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n fi hàn pé kò ń ṣe Omoluabi. Ìtẹríba. I'm talking about that respect. Ọmọ yìí dá ó ní ìtẹríba. So to us, parents, these are kind of things that we want to train our children on. How to speak in the society. Báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà táwọn ẹgbẹ́ bá wà pẹ̀? Báwo ló ṣe máa sọ nígbà táwọn bàbá ẹ bá jókòó? Ó ṣe pàtàkì. Ìtẹríba, respect. Inú rere, goodwill. Having a good mind towards others, good intention. Òtítọ́, truth. As we're reading it out, can you imagine this what is kind of like define us as a nation, as Omoluabi. So, Omo Yoruba and Nigeria, we're expected, to have all these characteristics. Then where have we thrown them? Orosiso, ìtẹríba, inú rere, òtítọ́, ìwà, akíkanjú, bravery. So it's not only the West that is not telling us, oh, you got to be patriotic, you got to go to war for your nation. This has been part of our own upbringing, our own culture from time immemorial. And interestingly, it's not now that we are just trying to create this. This has been there from the period of Namru Oduduwa that actually founded our race. Iṣẹ́, hard work, ọpọlọ pípé, intelligent. Cannot be more proud, about us here. There are a lot of engineers, professors, medical doctors, all professionals here. It really represents us. This is what you see. Come to Nigeria, the southwestern part where the Yoruba concentrated. There's tons of professors, people from Ekiti. In Ekiti state, there's a particular state that I think in every household they have professors. And another thing that we have there is the mood of dressing. Look at those looking radiant. We're all Omoluabi, yes. Excellent. Look at Abeti Aja, look at the Ofi. I might have to even take some of that back home, I take away from them. Careful analysis of the above embodied in diligence, self-reliance, honesty, social responsibility, integrity, self-control, especially under provocation. Self-control under provocation. They provoke you, we said is a virtue. To be able to control yourself. That's what an Omoluabi is. Wisdom and shrewdness in judgment, loyalty, devotion to one's parents and authority. Yoruba also believe that an Omoluabi must not tell lies. Ṣé Omoluabi? Ṣé wọ́n gbọ́ yẹn? An Omoluabi must not tell lies. Not be a tale-teller or break contractual agreement. So it's abomination in our culture to break contractual agreement. Whatever you say is agreement. You don't need anything. It's the West that told you got to sign. My father and my mother, they never signed any paper when they got married. But, yeah, you think it's a lot official. But the moment they say, well, that's your wife, it's your wife forever. I know. I know. What we're bringing out, what we're pointing out, is the fact that people agree to something. It's not. The above attributes are all traditional Yoruba values. And the essence of the traditional methodology of Yoruba education is to transform an individual into an Omoluabi. You Babati, you all remember when you were growing up, they talked about a calling. That's what we're talking. We proudly refer to that Yoruba education as a calling, home training. And I make it, point it out here, that our home training, which develops us to become an Omoluabi with those characteristics that I've enumerated, is not synonymous to Western homeschooling. That's not what we're talking about. We still have formal education, but home training is where you have all those values as Omoluabi. They're not able to actually develop your Omoluabi with the curriculum and school. That's to do arithmetic, mathematics, and etc. But how to live in the society has to be a complete person. That's taken care at home. Yoruba put a lot of emphasis on that. Home training, like I said, is about how to be a complete person and Omoluabi. Omoluabi translates as the baby begotten by the chief of Iwa. Such a child is thought of as a paragon of excellence in character. The translation of Iwa to character does not really capture the entire meaning of Iwa in Yoruba language. I'll be more elaborate of what Iwa indeed really means in Yoruba culture and traditional values. Yoruba believe that anyone that has other valuable things, and this is very important, anyone that has other valuable things and opportunities of life, but lacks good character of moral beingness, which is the essence of proper human existence, will sooner than later forfeit all those material possessions which will not let him be moral. So we place that Omoluabi above even acquisition of material things or all those things, because you eventually will lose it if you don't have the Omoluabi value. Yoruba believe that anyone that has the world today is globalized, fast advancing, and technology simplifying lifestyle. As a race, as Yoruba race, we're quickly forgetting our value, and some of our today's actions totally deviate from Omoluabi ethics. It now becomes highly essential that we all join in the crusade to eradicate moral decadence and further degeneration. We need renaissance. To you, the society here, irrespective of the fact that we find ourselves here in Western Australia, whether in Lagos or New York, as a Yoruba, we are expected to be an Omoluabi. Our family should be built on sound intellectual engagement, centering on love, respect, decency, character, dignity, and the responsibility among many others. Our children should imbibe the spirit of selflessness, humanity, peaceful coexistence, and industriousness. I have emphasized on our children because I assume that the grown-up Yorubas are cultured and already should possess the above attributes. Unfortunately, my assumption does not hold at all times. There's still a fault that doesn't demonstrate Omoluabi, ethics. And I hope that we do regret it. The state of contemporary Yoruba nation and our country in general is far from being what Omoluabi concept postulates. Our cultural values and traditional moral codes have been abandoned. As we form ourselves into Yoruba society of Western Australia, we should all deeply reflect on the values and virtues that have sustained Yoruba society, and we should work together to restore the glory of our past. I enjoin you to embark on activities, projects, programs,